Hi everyone, welcome to yet another day of your 2021 Launch Your New Career You Love online summit. I'm Andrea Theisz, your host for the summit, and today I have Nada Samman with me. Hello Nada, how are you?
Hello, Andrea. How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for joining me here today. Otherwise, I would be talking to myself.
Andrea, no, it's me that I want to thank you for hosting this event, and I want to thank you so much for having me on this great initiative to support people who want to take this bold move, that they need that extra support and encouragement, because I mean, these times are times with unprecedented challenges, and it's more than ever we need to help each other, go through these times and overcome these
Absolutely.
challenges. So thank
And
you very much
that's
for that.
why I'm
I'm
so
very happy.
happy that you said yes to this. And you guys, Nada is a superwoman. She does all those amazing things, and she will tell you more about herself as well. But she's also a coach, a facilitator, and she wears a lot of hats on her head. And Nada, would you like to tell us more about everything what you're doing?
Okay, so let me first start by a little background of you know where I started, where I was. So I come from a background of classical job-oriented mentality. So like my father, his last post was 20 years as a legal advisor in the Chamber of Commerce. My mother, her last post was 15 years in as head of media in a well-known organization. My brother is the financial advisor for I don't know how many years. So entrepreneurship was not in our DNA. You know, we're job oriented. So I hold a master's in information systems management, and I've worked and lived in many different countries. Kuwait, London, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Dubai, UAE. So this gave me a wealth of, it's a very enriching experience because I've worked in organizations of different sizes, of different types. Um, and I got to work with people from different countries, different backgrounds. So it was extremely enriching. I'm very thankful for that. I also handled so many different roles. So first of all, I was a software developer. I used to code programs. And then I was an IT systems manager and a network administrator. And then afterwards, there were like about 8 years where I was just a stay-at-home mom to take care of my children. And I did freelance translation. But then I went back to the job market as an IT and math teacher. And then my last post was the head of editorial and quality control in Dubai. So this the last post that I worked in, I mean, that was the changing phase in my life. So the last post I worked in, it was in a startup translation agency. So the first few years were so exciting. You know, you get to learn so many things because you're wearing different hats. That's always the case with the startups. So I was the translator, the editor, the project manager, the people manager, the business development. You know, I did them all, and it was so exciting. You learned a lot. But then I got to a point where I was no longer, in that particular setup, I was no longer making, a career development or a career progress within that setup. So I felt that it was time to move on, but I was too scared to take that leap of faith because, you have the security of a monthly check, and you are in control of the incoming and outgoing. So you cannot, I mean, it takes a leap of faith, and it takes some confidence. You have to have the confidence to take that. So thankfully, I had the encouragement of my husband, who was a serial entrepreneur, He established projects in so many different domains. He was a jack of all trades, although his PhD was in economics. So he encouraged me to take that step and to go on my own, that I have what it takes to, to go independent. So I took the step. I finally took the step. But unfortunately, another thing comes, and again, I had to overcome a very painful and challenging year with the ailment and passing of my husband. So that was another very, very severe challenge. But then, so now that was like 4 years ago. So now within this period, I managed to get certified in Wiley program, Everything Disc, which is a personality assessment program. And also there's the amazing Wiley programs called 5 Behaviors of Cohesive Team. Now those two programs are extremely powerful. Why? Because they not only gave me a career option, but they really benefited me on a personal level, because they give you an insight of your personality and the personality of the other people that you're working with. So you can understand other people and you can work in a much more efficient way. Oops. Sorry. So you can work in a much more efficient way, and it enhances a lot of skills. So that was amazing. I also attained certifications in training and in quality assessment. So where I am now is I'm working independently. I'm very happy with that. And I'm also associated with an international UK-based company for coaching, training, and consulting. It's called Isle of Innovation, founded by Talal Alaf. And so what we do is we offer training and coaching for companies in Europe and the Middle East. I'm also working associated with a branding agency, a US branding agency called Fluence Brands. I'm also establishing my own project, my own dream project, which is about to launch in a few months, hopefully. And I'm also on the advisory board for a new company, also launching very soon. And the best thing of all is that I'm working on this voluntary community development initiative, whereby we have more than 100 youths, young entrepreneurs. So what we do is we give them the training, and then they're given business incubation, and they can start their own business project. So that's very exciting, and I'm very happy with that.
Oh my goodness, Nada, this should be just an entire interview just about what you're doing, seriously. And my question was, before we jumped on the interview, right? Like, when do you sleep? Like, where do you take all the time to find, to be working on all those things? That remains a mystery to me.
So I consider this a transition period, and there is a transition period, from going from a job to work independently. And there's a mistake that I did that I want the viewers to avoid. So I'm going to tell them about it. When you get the feeling that you are not where you should be, that you are not where you want to be, and you are no longer developing or achieving the desired career goals, that's your signpost. That's your flag. That's your finish line coming soon. So don't wait. Don't flag behind. I did that mistake, and I used to ignore that, that feeling that, I'm going to have to take myself out of this situation soon. So what you should do, once you feel this way, once you get these indications, you have to start really working hard on a transition phase. Whether you're going to go to another job or you're going to go independent, it doesn't matter. You have to prepare yourself. You have to be relevant. You have to be competitive. You have to prepare yourself for this transition. So that phase takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. And the earlier you work on it, and the shorter the transition period is. Unfortunately, I'm still in that transition period, so I have to work really hard. So yeah, but it's very exciting. It's very exciting, and you feel yourself change. You feel the change in you, and you feel how you evolve, because honestly, being where you shouldn't be or where you're not happy to be, it's very dispiriting. It's very it's very demotivating to remain in a place where you know I shouldn't be here. There's more I can do. You know, this is not all I can do. This I can do more. So I really
I'm with
encourage
you.
everyone. Yeah.
I'm so much on with you about this, because this is what I'm telling to all my clients, or even prospective clients, or to any audience. Like, if you are not growing, if you are not leading the life you want, I'm gonna say it, we're not living. That's no life, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
we're either going forward or backwards. There's no really staying in one place. It's either deteriorating or creating something new. And in creation, there is this zest for life. That's the enthusiasm. That's where you probably get your energy, because you're working on something new and exciting, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you have tried it, really, when you have experienced it, it's when you can tell how negative it feels to not be in the place you want to be, to not be doing what you love to do. So, you know, I've tried it, and it was, you know, it's you should not stay there, you know. But do it. So do the transition, change, take yourself out of it, but do it smart, in a smart way, in a systematic way, and be prepared for it. So that's the key. That's the key. The key is not to stay there and ignore. No, the key is to change, but do it in a smart way, in the right way.
I love it. I love the smart way, and I do believe you're doing it in a smart way. So, what are the key elements to that smart way, or what would you say are kind of the steps for us to take?
Okay, so there are three main elements involved in any transition or any career change. There are three extremely essential elements. So first of all, you have the essential aptitudes that you have to have, the qualities in you that that should be ingrained in your character. So this is one element. The other element are the shackles. You have to be aware of the shackles that are constraining you and keeping you from growing or moving. And the third is the plan. So these three elements are essential to keep in mind. So first of all, if I want to talk about the essential aptitudes that, you know, they're essential whether you are in an individual or an organization. So in both cases, the most important qualities for an individual or an organization nowadays are the agility and the continuous development. The agility meaning, so the agility encompasses flexibility and adaptability. So it's how fast you adapt to change. You know, things are changing rapidly. The job market is going through incredibly rapid mutations. And the perspective is it's going to, you know, the pace is going to be even faster in the future. So you better be prepared, and you better be psychologically prepared to embrace change. Change is going to happen. So you have to psychologically be prepared for it, and have the skills to be able to maneuver around it, to make the change work for you, not against you. Make use of the change. And so this is what agility is. And those who have agility, whether it's organizations or individuals, are the least impacted by the sudden changes.
Mhm.
So I mean, we've witnessed it with the corona pandemic. What happened is that the companies who had the agility, they survived the impact. Some even made profits. Individuals and companies who did not know how to handle this, who were at the stage of, this is what I do, I cannot do it anymore, so I'll just sit there and surrender and die peacefully. No, I mean, this is wrong. This shouldn't be the way. So agility is extremely important. And the other important thing is continuous development. Continuous development ideally should happen every day in life. Like I always have a saying, a day without improvement is a day wasted. You should not go on any single day without learning at least one thing, even a tiny thing. So this is something I totally believe in. It's like a religion to me that I should always be constantly developing. Why? Because if I don't do that, then I don't remain relevant. I don't remain competitive. If the organization, let's say they have a certain product and they just relax at that product and they don't keep the innovation portfolio going on, the innovation efforts going on, then one day they're going to become irrelevant and obsolete, and their product will no longer be competitive. So this is very important, the continuous development and the agility. The second, so this is the first element, the necessary aptitudes. The second element were the shackles. So when it comes to the shackles, we have to change our mentality, our perspective on things. One of the most important issues that we face, and the shackles that we face, is the association between the academic degree and the career path. We have this traditional classic belief that whatever my academic degree is, I'm stuck with it to the end of life. And this is no longer the case. I mean, this is an obsolete idea. We have to disassociate these two. So take me, for example, my degree is in IT. What am I doing? I'm doing training, coaching, and language services. So we have to really move out of this system, and we have to realize that in the world today, the professional expertise is much more important than your academic knowledge. So academic knowledge is good. It gives you insight, it gives you knowledge, it changes your character, it gives you the ability to change logically, so problem solving skills and stuff like that. But it doesn't dictate your career. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're stuck with it for life. And there are jobs that are becoming obsolete. So this is happening, and we have to always be prepared for that. The second the other important shackles are internal. We underestimate our abilities, and we tend to overestimate the barriers and the challenges out there. And we are capable of much more than we believe we can do. So this is internal, and these are constraints that are in here, and they tend to be more difficult to overcome and break than the external barriers. So these are self-created limiting beliefs about ourselves. And the more we know, the more we learn, we get the confidence to break out of this, and we get that confidence. So these are the shackles. Now, as for the plan, okay, so you need to plan your move. The planning means first while you still have the security of the paycheck, let's say, you start working on it and use your time efficiently. You timeline yourself. And there's something very important that I totally believe in. I believe in the holistic approach, meaning that I'm reinventing my personal brand. I'm repositioning myself to handle the new role that I'm targeting. So with this repositioning, I have to completely change. I have to change myself intellectually, get the information, research, certificates, whatever is needed. And I have to get the skills, training, practice, and I have to work on my image as well. So the image is, whether it's social media or even personal image. So social media has to reflect this change in you, it has to reflect the repositioning, the new role that you're going to take. So all of this, it's a holistic approach, and this is how you should approach that change. I totally believe in this. I don't believe in just, focusing on one area only, because it doesn't, it's still not enough. You want to be competitive, do the whole thing, just rebrand yourself altogether.
I love that you just mentioned that self-image of that new role, of that new personality, almost, if you like, of that new person you're becoming with that new opportunity, right? Because we are not the same person. Like, you going for a new career, yeah, you're becoming a new person. Like, just deal with that.
Absolutely, and it's unbelievable, Andrea. It's unbelievable the change that you see in yourself and the others see in you uh, after you've gone through this. But another very important thing is, so you have to have a timeline. Don't let things lag behind. So let's say the first phase is choosing the new role. To choose the new role, don't take more than 2 months of research, of looking into yourself, into your passion. What are you passionate about? And research the roles that you are targeting until you decide on one. But don't take more than 2 months. 2 months is I think, enough for that. Otherwise, if you don't timeline yourself, you're going to just let things lag. And your decision on the role that you're going to take, it has to be a strategic, long-term decision, because you're going to be doing that for a few years. Now, no one is saying that whatever role you choose, you are stuck with it to the end of your life. No, this is not the idea. You can always make changes, and you can change your trajectory. You can change your the role that if at some point, for any reason, even if it's changes outside, you found that you need to make changes, that's fine. But rapid and drastic changes frequently are neither advisable nor feasible. So it's okay to make changes every few years, that's fine, but not the drastic changes every few years, because that really isn't recommended, and it's not feasible for you to always start from zero. It's difficult. So I would recommend that when you decide on a new role, it has to be strategic and it has to be long-term as much as you can. That's why I'm giving it like 2 months of research, of looking into yourself, of connecting to what you really want to do, what you love. And then comes the second phase, which is working on the skills, getting the certifications, researching, working on your soft skills and your image, and then execute this plan with discipline. Discipline is very important here, because you want to make the biggest change. So you have to discipline yourself to work hard. It's a phase that will take some hard work. I mean, no one is arguing that. No one is telling you it's going to be easy and sweet. But it will take some hard work. But eventually, the change is incredible. You're going to be very happy with it, and it will change your entire life and outlook to life. So I highly recommend it, but I recommend that you do it right.
Right. And so I have a question from your own experience, Nada, because with all the professions you had, with all those different experiences, so some of your moves were probably planned ahead and you were really like going for your goal. And maybe some opportunities just came to your life because of some, we would call it coincidence, right? But it's never a coincidence. So I would be really interested to know actually what do you think you should actually assign those good coincidences to in your life when you were presented with an opportunity? Why did that happen?
Okay, so this is such a funny thing that you ask me this, because okay, so this is rather weird, because almost all the job opportunities that I went into, they came to me from a different direction than the direction I was looking. So, I would look one way, and then the opportunity comes from a whole different source, and it's not something that I pursued. So it's really funny that you should mention that, because really most of them just happened. The opportunity came. Now, that doesn't mean that. I mean, this is not saying it's coincidence. It's saying that hard work, the result that you get from the hard work really doesn't have to be from exactly the place where you looked. Sometimes, you have to do the work, but then sometimes life surprises you with, a reward. So the jobs that I worked at were really wonderful, and I'm really lucky to have handled them. And unfortunately, most of them came to me where I wasn't looking. I was looking in another direction, and they came to me, and I was really happy with them. So, but still, we have to do the hard work. We have to target, and whatever comes next is good. It's whether it's what you expected or it's a nice surprise, it will still be good as long as you're doing the effort, as long as you're doing the homework that it takes.
I was just really curious because, like that was my experience a lot of times in my life, that I was going for something and then something, coincidentally not
Exactly.
came to me from completely unexpected sources. Like, if I could just share one example, which is so bizarre, because I'm not saying I got a job offer in a pub, but that was where I met a person who actually led me to a new opportunity, which would never even in a million years occur to me that this is a way how it can happen. And I was out on a Friday evening sitting in London having a beer with friends.
Yeah. I totally believe in that. And but the thing is, this is not an invitation to anyone to just sit and wait for a coincidence. No. So my point is, keep on going, but then you're going to be rewarded one way or another, whether you from an expected or unexpected source. But keep on striving. I mean, eventually this is what's going to get you there, to get you to the target. And when things happen on your own terms, the way you are in control of what you're getting, the positions that you're handling, and how you transition. And when you transition, you are not waiting for someone to push you to leave. No, you have to be the initiator of your own steps every step of the way. So yeah, but that's wonderful. I mean, it feels so good when you're surprised with an opportunity that you never even thought of.
But I have to second you on that. Like, it was not because I was, sitting on my bum, scratching my head all day long. No, it was because I was, working hard, sending out the CVs, looking for opportunities. But what I probably want to highlight in this was the moment you let go and you just release
Oh,
the expectations or the struggle, like I have to get somewhere, I have to, and you go out for a drink on Friday evening. That's when stuff sometimes it's happening. And I'm sure we all had experiences like that in our life when we just struggled. And then once, released, then we allow things to happen.
absolutely. But my second job, I was looking in foreign service entities like embassies, and I looked at all the embassies that I would wish to work in, except for one. And like, so it's the best place I would want to do, but I didn't even bother because I thought, no, I don't think they will take me. There's too much pressure. There's too much, I just did not think about it. And this is the one that was offered to me. Not all the others that I sent the CV to. So it's really, it's life.
Awesome. I love it.
I did,
I love it.
yeah, but I did the legwork, and I went to every embassy, and I gave them my CV. So you have to do the legwork, and you have to do the effort, but then nice surprises.
I love it. Nada, I think this is just such a beautiful ending to our interview. I know we could be talking for much longer. Unfortunately, the time is up for us. But you have a gift to the audience as well. So would you like to talk a little bit more about that? What is it?
So basically, the points that I mentioned in our talk, they're available in a short, concise presentation. Available. Anyone interested, I'd be happy to send it to them. They can just, inbox me and I'll send it to them. Right.
Awesome. So there will be a link just below this video in the button where you can click and connect with Nada directly and tell her that you want that free gift. Just to go through those steps, it's quite comprehensive what you just shared with us. So for anyone who wants to review that, it's going to be really helpful. So Nada, thank you so much for being here today with us, for your knowledge, just for sharing your experiences with us, because you are a well of knowledge. I have to say that. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And I'm very happy to share experiences. I'm very happy to, to support and help. If my knowledge can help anyone, then that makes me happy, certainly. So thank you for having me in this wonderful event.
I'm sure many will find inspiration in your own stories. So thank you and take care.
You too. Bye.